Hey everybody, so welcome back again. Hope everybody had a good weekend. It was just kind of hot, so Georgia's starting to get on a heat wave, as we always do. But anyway, this is my new throwout bearing slash release bearing. There's different names that people go by, so but take this puppy out and take a look. And there she is, brand new throwout bearing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all squared away. They did not have a new boot in stock, and so I'm gonna have to order that from somewhere else. But that doesn't stop me from installing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this squared away. There it is, clip is on. Now these little grooves right here, where it kind of forks up, you want to slide those in. Sometimes if you have a hard time, you can kind of push the little wiring pin out, get them grooves set, and then just seat it in. And there it is. And sometimes I have to push on that pin some more, and there it goes. Hey everybody, so I have the new throwout bearing installed, as you can see. And just to give y'all an example, I took this little piece off. It slides in like that. And just to give y'all a visual effect, it slides in. You see them little grooves right there? Each side is going to be pushed in right there. So, and how this is going to seat. See this little nipple right here? Just visualize this sitting right there, and it's under pressure. You're going to clip this behind there, and it's going to be tight. And so that's when it shifts with the fork, the release bearing, it's going to stay on there. All right, so let's go ahead and get this set. Should really get me a new boot. That's one thing that's going to hurt me. Not really, but and another thing I forgot to add. You see that piece right there? If y'all can see it, that little shiny part, that little indentation, the circle, it's going to be flexing against this nipple. So let's go ahead and get this set. There it went. It popped in on that side, at least. Can't see on this side, and it popped in. Good deal. All right, now let's go ahead and set it in place. See how I got in there already? There. And it is in place. It is now fully seated. And right here is where the slave cylinder is going to go. You got two bolts that's going to slide in, and it's going to push for when you operate the clutch. So let's see if I can get you the best angle. Oh, let's make sure it don't slide out on me. That'd be the last thing I don't want to do. All right. Stop playing around, Bruce. All right. Now, don't know if you can see it, but the clip that I told you about if you can get a good view of it, you can see it's around that nipple. And so now that it's that, throwout bearing is installed. So now let's move on to the next thing. I'm probably not going to do the slave cylinder yet. And the reason for that, there's a line underneath the truck that's going to like screw in right there. And this is basically like a bleeder. So, but this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be pushed in. You're going to have, now granted, this is going to be under pressure once when you get everything in line. And it's going to bolt up. This little rod right here is going to be perfectly indented right there. And that's what this slave cylinder operates the throwout bearing. Hey everyone, so we are about to install the reverse check sleeve. So y'all can have a good look at that. In stock, there's supposed to be 2 holes. And I believe this is aftermarket. Someone has replaced that one time. And it's funny because when you start working on your vehicles, you start coming across things and then you realize, hey, this is not stock. So as you can tell, there's 2 holes. This one is the one that's been used. As you can tell, this one's all dirty, has like crud all in it. And so apparently whoever owned this truck before me just bought an aftermarket one. And that's that. I mean, I have no control over that. I mean, someone went out and bought aftermarket. So that's the way it is. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten that up. So next thing I'm going to install is this sensor. And forgive me, but for the life of me, my mind is totally blank. Just can't think of what sensor this is right now. But once when I find out, I'll get to you. But forgive me for that. But it's going to go right here. Screws in perfectly right there. All right, still working it. Now, let me go get my crescent wrench. Okay, everybody. So, uh-oh, don't run away from me. What we have here is the bolt, the return spring, and this little rod. Each one's got a little groove on it. And one is going to go right here. Going straight in, rod first, followed by return spring, and then bolt. And the other one is going to go in here. And they're going to meet right there on the shift fork, or the little glide that connects to the shift forks. Sorry. So, let's go ahead and work on that. Get the return spring and the bolt. Let me get my light. I want to check something out first. Okay. put the return spring in. You want to make sure, let me show you on this one. The return spring is going to fit over here, just like that. And then you want to make sure you get the return spring seated in just right with the gap of the bolt. So we'll do this the easy way. Go ahead and put the return spring right there on the bolt. Hold it and push it in just like that. Now, before we tighten up that one, I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one set. Get the rod, return spring in the bolt, and do the same thing on the other side. Just so y'all know, when y'all see this right here, this is where the shifter is gonna go. There's a little hard plastic, it's gonna slide in, and that's what operates the gears. This slides, and then you have like little grooves where the shift forks are, and that's how it works. All right, people, so I forgot to mention one problem. When you're installing the rod, the return spring on each side, there's a little ball bearing, and another return spring is slightly larger than the other side. That's my daughter that you hear in the background. So this is how we're gonna do this. The perfect way to do this so you don't battle the return spring is we already have this one in. So you're gonna have a little ball bearing. You're gonna slide it in with the return spring and the bolt. Easy peasy. And then just tighten it and it's a good done deal. And that's how easy it is. And just start anchoring her down. So you have the little chat ball, return spring, and the bolt inside the transmission, perfectly locked. And you can see the two rods, and they're perfectly in place with their return springs. I'll still have to finish tightening this side up. So, but we're all good. We're getting there. Hey everyone, so I got the floor jack while I was off camera because I wanted to focus on jacking the truck up. But anyway, you never want to leave a floor jack or a hand jack or anything like that underneath the truck just for safety precautions, because you don't want to depend your life on a jack. It could just give out like that. So you want to use jack stands, and that's what I have right here on the front. What I like to do, I like to have the handle facing outside of the vehicle. That's just the way I've always worked. And you want to put it on the frame of the vehicle, like so, if you can see them right here. And whenever I get everything set and ready and fixed, I'm gonna have to adjust the height again on my truck with the torsion bars, and I'll show y'all how to do all that. Okay everyone, so what I'm about to do here, I have 3 check balls. One's gonna go right here on the top, and then you have 2 on the side, 1 for each hole. Then you're gonna have the return spring go in each one. Then you're gonna have the bolts that go in each one of these. All right, so let's get started. I'll show y'all how to do it. Okay, so I have the check balls right here. I put them inside this old little seal, so they wouldn't just roll off anywhere, because trust me, you do not want to lose these. I have the 3 return springs and the 3 bolts. Obviously, the 2 shorter ones are going to go on the side of the adapter plate. The larger bolt is going to go on the top. So we'll do the top one first. Go ahead and put the check ball in there, followed by the return spring, and followed by the bolt. Now, let's flip this on its side so we can do the other check balls. So I don't know if y'all will be able to see it. It's gonna be hard to see, but there is a groove coming from the shift forks. If y'all can see it, that's where the check ball lays into. So let's go ahead and do the next one with a return spring. Lay the check ball in there. Return spring. Okay, so I just had the check balls installed with the return springs. A long bolt goes right here, short ones go on the side. So remember that for the 95 Nissan. So anyway, transmission is ready to go in. I did everything that I can do to it. I still gotta get the rubber boot. That goes right there on the side. But before I go any farther,